And cheers, y'all. What's up, everybody? Got the seltzer. Do you have a drink? Where's your drink?
I have water.
I got you guys. Don't worry. Bam.
It's so late.
Bam. Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, touche. Yeah. So
For
welcome.
anyway.
We're kicking off a combo of a early Black Friday deals here on Amazon, as well as going over new products we got in, plus some old products that we've already talked about. We're just going to go over some deals. And we're going to hang out like podcast style. So I thought this could be kind of fun as long as Carrie can stay.
We'll see how it's going.
That's the key.
I'm quite tired today.
Key variable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to scooch over a little bit so you guys can see me on TikTok as well. And again, wherever you guys are watching this, just keep in mind the products I'm talking about are going to be on Amazon. So I have highlighted right now on our Amazon carousel, we have the salt lamp that has a Black Friday deal. So right now, from now until next Friday, obviously, this is the time to buy.
Yeah.
You also got a bunch of products like some lotion and things like that. We're going to talk about self-care, relaxation, stress management. Those are some of the things I kind of wanted to anchor everything we talk about, especially at night before we go to bed.
Self-care.
Especially if you guys are watching this right now.
Self-care is for everyone, any time of day.
Yeah. You might need, but I think especially like before going to bed to help like wind down your system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Unless you I don't know, work late nights or something.
Right. Which shout out to Doc. I was just talking to one of my clients who has to go into, I think it's a 24-hour shift.
Yeah.
So enjoy that. And what's up, everybody? So if you guys want to as well, again, we're going to be hanging out and going over our sponsored products here on Amazon, but also doing like Q&A, talking about the components of like stress management, relief, and whatever else comes up. Do you want to talk about anything in particular?
I mean, today was our first official snow day here.
Oh, yeah.
So
we had a snow day.
Kind of exciting for us. And the kids got called off school. So another reason why I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah. I totally got so on Amazon, I'm actually going to highlight this like lotion set because I've like every stream, I'm going to go through a different lotion because we got 16 in here.
Yeah. I haven't even smelled most of those. I've only smelled like 2.
Bust them out. Hold on. Yeah. I got to highlight the product. We'll be right back.
Let's see, what do we got?
And again, if you guys are watching on any other platform besides Amazon, you're like, what are you talking about? You can just hop on over to Amazon. I'm live over here as well. And you'll see the products because it's easier to highlight them. But on TikTok, we also have our LOF bands. So if you guys want to see, we're going to be getting into some band demonstrations later. And I also have a brand new product that I haven't made a video on yet that you guys will get to see if you hang out to the end of the stream. We're going to be doing this for about like an hour. And then we're going to go into a actual like fitness and fashion. Kufandi just sent me a bunch of stuff. They got like Black Friday deals on, I want to say more than half of this stuff. So you guys are going to want to hang around for that.
I am excited about these lotions because they have decent.
What flavor you got?
Well, this one here is, I hadn't even seen this one before, rose and avocado. There's rose and avocado, milk and coconut, which I've already smelled, and then olive oil and shea butter.
I'm going to put some on right now.
Yeah, last time he put this on his face, I think, and the next day when he woke up, I like went to kiss his face, and I was like, "You smell like
why do you smell
something unusual? Like you don't normally smell like that." And then I remembered we pulled this stuff out. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
it was good smelling. It was just not a normal mic smell.
Yeah, especially in the morning, you're like, "Why do you smell?"
Oh, this one's nice. I like that I can smell it even without opening the little thingy. This rose and avocado one, I really like.
Yeah. So yeah, this to me, like just, and you've talked about this too, like just like dry brushing your skin and just doing these different self-care acts become really helpful. It doesn't have to take forever either. That's like, I used to have a misconception, like I don't have an hour to meditate or do yoga or things like that. It's like, it doesn't have to be an hour. You could just do 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or like 1 minute, just putting some lotion on your hands, take care of your skin, doing little things like that, that just kind of compound it. And then playing with different types of aromas and scents. They can have different impacts. And the one thing I want to invite, I'm curious, we haven't talked about this on a podcast. I've done podcasts on this in the past, but pay attention to what colors, especially fast food or like restaurant chains are using. If you pay attention, do you notice a common thread?
Right. Lots of bright colors like red, yellow. Yeah.
So
almost
it's usually
always some kind of yellow.
Yeah. Red, yellow, or orange tends to be, if you go across like whatever fast food list, you would say, I don't know what the exact numbers, but I'm confident definitely at least 50%, if not close to 80 to 90% will have red, yellow, or orange in it, or a combination of those things. And there's a reason for it. The impact it can have on our brain, in like even our inputs and our cues, our hunger, whether we're in fight or flight or rest and digest. Some interesting components of that. And I say all that to say, because I'm looking at even these types of like containers, and I like all the different colors as well as the scents. And I always like to just like pay attention to those little things, but you did this one.
Yeah, that's my favorite so far. The rose one.
It smells really good.
I will say, as a general rule of thumb, I try to stay away from any kind of like scented anything, just because scents in general have an effect on our hormones, a deleterious effect on our hormones. And this is becoming more like common knowledge, but like scented candles, scented lotions, scented things, even perfumes. I know people love perfumes, but these scented things really can mess with our hormones, and they have residual lasting effects. So like, especially if it's something you spray. Lotions and creams a little less so, because you're just putting it on your skin. But even then, like, your skin sloughs off during the day, you have dust in your house, and these scented things will last forever and ever. But specifically aerosol things like hairsprays or fragrance sprays or anything that sprays in the air that has a scent, the oils and the chemicals in those scented things can last for a really long time on the surface of your furniture and these sorts of things. But I was looking at the fragrances or the smells in these. Yeah, I'm definitely not going down that road.
I know you're obviously not, but we'll get into that next.
Yeah, that's the spray stuff, right? It's the same thing. But I will say I looked in those ones, the scents. If the scents are essential oils, I'm all about it. Exactly. So any kind of essential oils, some people have allergies and different things. So, pick your oils or whatever. But if it's essential oils, I'm all about it, especially if it's rubbing it on the skin. I also make like essential oil cleaners and these kinds of things. So essential oils can really replace these artificial scented things that can be negative for our hormones. But yeah, magnesium oil.
So the key to this one, every time I do bring it up or I like pull it out,
off-centered.
Too off.
Yeah, it's too off. It's like cutting me in half of my face off. I'm trying my best, but
we're gonna get it centered. But the key thing to keep in mind with the whatever, but especially with this magnesium oil that we came to learn from our experience, stick to the actual like spray amount they suggest.
Yeah, boy.
Because an interesting thing to potentially look at is when you're magnesium deficient, one of the symptoms is headaches. But interestingly and ironically, when you have a toxic level of magnesium, or you exceed the toxicity level, you're going to also potentially have headaches as a symptom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that happened to me. I also think that, like, obviously my pregnancy affects different things, like what my body is using and what it needs. So the balances are different than non-pregnant me. But yeah, we did a magnesium oil spray massage, which felt very nice at the time. But I literally had a headache for 2 days later, and I was like, all right, I need to like eat a bunch of salt and drink a bunch of water and flush this out of my system. And yeah. Michael was fine though.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
I went much harder on you as far as the magnesium spray. He was a little more, a little more conservative with the spray, but it still gave me a gnarly headache. But when I sprayed him down, I don't even think we read the directions, only 5 to 10 sprays before I was just going after it. And luckily he's
I pay attention.
Yeah. Luckily he's a big guy and he's no worse for wear, and it felt great.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like with sprays, like how many?
No, I'm saying like when I was spraying you, I don't think I even looked to see like how many. I was just like, let's just put this on. And then when he went to do it to me, I was like, wait a minute, is this okay for pregnant women? And he looked it up. He's like 5 to 10 sprays. I was like, oh shit. Well then, we OD'd you on magnesium.
Good thing I hydrate, and that's why I actually tagged in our Himalayan salt. So I thought that was actually a perfect kind of segue too, because we have the magnesium oil, which by the same company, by the way. I love the diversity of the products and like the story. I always love sharing the story, especially when we get to work with a brand that we use prior. So like Carrie actually just had this in her house, and I made a video on it, and then we end up like reconnecting with the brand to be able to work together. Man,
this one's really cutting you off. It's like we just can't win.
We just gotta get close.
Just can't win.
And that's where, like, again, what we'll have for next week too, y'all stay tuned, is having like content creation, like accessories or different things that can help set up your cameras. Cause I have a bunch of that stuff I get to bust out.
But actually there is one like right behind the TV that we could have put off to the side, but I didn't think about it. The little stand one. Oh, well.
Yeah. But we got like we'll dial them in. Yeah. That's what I was thinking about too, is like I was excited because Carrie and I have been talking more. We got feedback. So appreciate everyone, by the way, that's giving feedback on the live streams, on the content, what you do like, perspective, all of that. And for those that showed up, like I haven't even really taken the time and had the opportunity to make a post yet, like just with how everything turned out. And I also had a really great fight weekend with birthday celebration, all that stuff. So really appreciate that. And I was thinking about, yeah, like in the past, my setup was like really like dialed in for a particular space, right? And then even my office. So you've yet to really see all of that. But once we get kind of like settled into the
we're
new
just
space,
like always moving and like juggling and
shucking and jiving.
But yeah, we're moving into a new space next month, and we'll actually have all of our stuff in one place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I kind of like this.
And an office that's specifically designed for. Yeah.
The cool thing I find with like moving is almost like you get to be very efficient with your stuff.
Yeah, right.
You don't like hang, because I like to hoard stuff transparently.
Yeah.
So like being able to move more helps me just like really like wear that stuff down, or like not have as much to carry, I should say. But
it's like, do I really need this? I don't feel like moving another box. Luckily I have the opposite quality. I'm like, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. If I haven't used it in a year, I don't want to see it, whatever it is. So I have very little attachments. The only thing is I really have attachments to are like my plants. I have a lot of plants. Yeah, so my living things, like my dog and my plants and my children. So outside of that, I'd really rather not move it. And yeah.
But one of the things that when we were talking about magnesium and then like segueing and bringing it back, why I grabbed the salt too, is I wanted to talk about like a quick plug for electrolyte balancing. So this is something that like seems simple enough, but different electrolytes can have different impact on your blood, on the water, and where it's all being distributed. So for example, this is something I have a cheat sheet I use for this because I used to talk about this a little bit more. Magnesium versus sodium, one being an intracellular base and one being an extracellular base. So being mindful of, okay, we had a lot of magnesium, what can balance it out is some sodium, making sure you got water and sodium with that. Now the exact ratios, that's all going to vary depending on your body, depending on how much you took in, but that's like an interesting kind of blend or combo that you can kind of utilize with it.
Yeah, and you can use this Himalayan salt too for lots of other kinds of self-care, like if you do what's it called, the nose thing.
Oh, the neti pot?
Yeah, the neti pot, because like this salt works just fine with the neti pot. You have to heat it up, and you have to like make sure that you distill the water, and you want to use like bottled water, but you don't want to use like sink water. But yeah, it's a much more efficient and economic way to do your neti pot, which I haven't done in a little while, but yeah, I used to do that pretty often. Also, fun fact for those of you that may be pregnant or considering getting pregnant, one of my midwives suggested to me when I had a bout of mastitis to do like a teaspoon of Himalayan salt in a Dasani water bottle and just drink the whole thing, and my mastitis went away. So I'm not giving you medical advice, just saying it worked well for me. So there's definitely a lot. I think to your point, like the intracellular and the extracellular, like there's a lot of different little things that you can simply do. And obviously, you know, my situation wasn't super dire. So if you're like really infected, you should go see a doctor, but it was enough to just flush it out. And I drank a bunch of distilled water for like the following days after, but it's pretty cool that you could just take a teaspoonful of salt and it can kind of like fix some imbalances and things in your clots or whatever in your body. So, and it was that exact salt. So yeah.
So that's why we always like to like when we can have the brand be something we like truly love ahead of time. That's my favorite partnership. And those are the ones I seek out obviously the most. So that's like just a great example of it. So I'm curious, like if you guys have questions, feel free to tag them in, because at some point Carrie's probably going to go to bed. And that means it's going to be just me with you guys. And it's easier when you have someone to talk to. But if you guys are here and you want to hit us with questions or comments like Stover, you know you got to hit me with a question in the comments, especially I see you live jumping in. I got to like, give me something here.
I'm quite tired. Plus all the little kitties are in bed. And normally when the littlest one, Anna, who's 2, is normally when she's been asleep for like a few hours, she wakes up and needs like mom to put her back to sleep.
I hold you, especially after
that'll be today, we got like 30 minutes before that happens. So
today was
we'll say. Actually, she fell off the table, and so Michael and the girls were outside, right? Or like kind of transitioning.
Right in that, like, going from the back room, like outside. And...
the backyard. And my littlest one, she was, I don't know what she was doing, but we have like a little table kind of in a nook. And she was probably standing on the chair, which is fine. She knows not to crawl on top of the table, but she was standing on the chair. And in whatever way she tried to transition and get down, it didn't happen.
Not the move.
And she fell. I don't know if she like stepped wrong on the chair or like tried to lean the chair or what, but she busted up her lips so bad. We felt really bad. But she recovered so quick. I was really proud of her. She cried for a little bit. I mean, there was blood everywhere. We had to I still have blood on my robe.
Nice.
There's like a little spot of blood
from the fights.
Yeah, because I was I guess that's TMI. I've been wearing this robe all day. No lie, no shame.
Live your life, girl.
Pregnant mom life on a snow day.
And Stover's saying to go to bed, by the way.
Stover, he's saying go to bed.
That to me, or are you saying that to Carrie?
Probably me.
You should go to bed too. How do I resist the urges of pie? Right? What kind of pie though? That's the key thing. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, Christian. What's going on, dude? We got both Christians in there.
So, long story short, it was a long day. The little one was a little bit moody from then on out.
Which is fair. Right?
She had a busted lip and nose, but yeah, we survived it.
Yeah. I was just checking to see comments on Amazon. I just realized I wasn't like paying attention to my Amazon peeps.
There we go.
So if you guys had questions, don't worry, I'll get to them. You don't have to worry about it.
No.
Again, stay tuned, guys, because what we're gonna do at the end of this, I've got 2 new fitness products that I'm gonna be revealing and showing you guys at the end. So just a little bonus. And then Stover, just know that especially one of these pieces of equipment is going to be used with you specifically, especially for your shoulders. So that's going to come in handy.
Which one is that? Sky? The little.
That one.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing was so crazy.
Saying that to you, Mike. Yeah, eventually I go to bed. Yeah, but I'm here for it. Yeah, dude. Also, yeah, what's up, Caleb? Shout out to dude. Caleb just crushing it in Thailand too. Also, dude, like I haven't done a live stream since the fight weekend, right? So we gotta give shout outs, right?
Yeah.
Stover, if you're still in, we gotta talk about Hamilton. Can you tag Hamilton? Just so, like give him, so you guys gotta follow Hamilton. This is great. That's probably to me the more mind-blowing of all the fights from the night.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Hamilton took the fight on 12 hours notice, right? This dude, it's his first fight.
Yeah.
And the guy he was going against, it was his 20th fight. And also props to the dude for here's the thing. I want to say props because I think Hamilton had maybe 20 pounds on the guy. Oh, what's up, Keith? Hey, dude.
Okay.
Thanks for dropping by too, man. But either way, it's like his 20th fight. So you have enough reps, you have enough experience that at that point you should like be able to handle yourself. And Hamilton just says, yeah, I'm going to go with it.
Yeah.
And
a day before.
And so here's the crazy thing. Not only takes the fight on 12 hours notice, he was supposed to fight, but I think his other opponent dropped out 2 weeks prior, maybe a week prior with an injury. And then being able to then take a fight 12 hours notice. And on top of that, with it being a 20 like fight differential there, being able to go to a draw, which apparently they took a point away from Hamilton because his mouthpiece kept falling out, fell out 3 times. So they took a point. So technically, if they didn't take a point, he would have won the fight, which is even crazier. So that like started off the night. And that was like good vibes. And then shout out to Christian Williams too. He had a great fight. He got caught, man. This is the hard thing. When you play that game and when you're like fighting at more than 150 pounds. I mean, any weight class, but especially when you get 180, 200, 250, like you start getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Those one single shots just have that much more power and energy behind them. And he got clipped. But I'm excited to we're going to be going over what we learned from just not only the fight, but just like the camp leading up to it. And I'm really proud of just like the man he's become in this process. That's I was talking to someone else prior on a call with the idea of it's not just I think everyone should have at least one sanctioned fight because there's something about knowing you have a fight, showing up to that fight, making the walk and almost surrendering. And there's a lot to it. I think that could be positive in a lot of ways for people's lives is my point. And I think Christian's a really strong embodiment of that, even though he shows up as a father and just everything else. So that was the next fight. Then we had Justin, shout out to the Jag, who's, again, great story. He's gone to Thailand twice now. I love being able to see people from their first day training to like fighting, winning a title, multiple titles, world titles, whatever that looks like. It's some of my favorite stuff to really see them put in the work and evolve over time. And Justin's been that dude. Amongst many, Christian, all of them I've seen them. Hamilton, I've been able to work with all of them, but Justin specifically, especially because he's one of our trainers for LOF and being able to have everything he's doing at Rogue and everything he does just locally and being able to take the fight on 2 weeks notice and come in and take a really tough fight with a really tough opponent. Shout out to AK, by the way. You guys on Instagram, AK the Limiter. He's also a trainer and a great fighter out of Greenville. Really, really good dude too. We'd be able to cross train at gyms, so we're familiar with them, and to be able to take that fight on 2 weeks notice and put a hard split decision. I was confident that he took it, but I'm biased, obviously. So hearing a split decision, I wasn't that surprised, and I was dude, just to be able to come in with that mindset of I'm gonna just put it all out. And I remember in the 3rd round, he was he's dude, I'm tired. I'm that's all right, man. You have and also shout out to Jeff Lee from Monster Strength Conditioning. working with these guys too, and what we all put together is I'm like, you could be tired. That's okay. You have the conditioning to be able to perform. And that was one thing I remember when I had my own fight. My coach told me, like, dude, I'm tired. He's like, you're not even breathing heavy. You're fine. Like it's in your mind.
Mental.
Yeah, it's like you're mentally tired from just all the everything that's going on.
Adrenaline, and that's so different. Yeah.
So what was your perspective too? And then we'll get into the Deuce fight, because that like is like I got fun
my
stories
perspective of
just from like because you didn't see the fights unfortunately, but you were
No.
able to see them afterwards. And I'm curious your like experience of like noticing people after the fights. What's that like for you? Because you've trained at gyms, you've done jiu-jitsu, like you've been around that kind of a crowd.
Well, I mean, like it depends. It depends a lot on whether you win or lose, right? That really changes how you show up afterwards. In general, there's a huge, crazy hormonal cocktail that you're coming down from afterwards that slowly reveals all the pains and aches that you gained over the fight. So yeah, the consciousness of the frame of consciousness for the fighter definitely radically shifts in the 12 hours following a fight. But afterwards, especially if they won, there's a bit of euphoria that lasts for a while, and hopefully some gratitude, which we saw a lot of that. I mean, from our guys, the guys that Mike trains with, a lot of gratitude, a lot of humility and confidence and all that good stuff. I suspect it might be, I don't know, different depending on who you train with and where you train, but
that too.
that's what we're always looking for with anyone we work with. But yeah, if you lose, it's probably, you still have a bit of the euphoria, but there's a lot more weight and pressure, and almost kind of feels like, all right, I'm in the hole now. Let me start like plotting my plan to dig myself out, so to speak. Which if you can maintain a positive mindset after a loss and still see like, okay, there's a path forward, you're doing something right. So yeah, fortunate we had that too. But yeah, it was a really good experience. I was sad I didn't get to actually see the fights, but it's just one of those things. We don't go down to Greenville that often, and that weekend we were kind of celebrating my birthday, and a very good friend of mine is pregnant with me. This is the second time we've been pregnant together. So and I hadn't seen her in over a year, so I wanted to spend time with her, and that I had a limited window. And by the time I got back to the fights, because I thought, I'll have time, like I'll get there at like 6. I should be able to see at least a couple of them. And he texted me. He's like, yeah, they're pretty much over. I was like, oh, all right then. But luckily, I think a couple of them aren't Christian and Deuce both fighting in December.
Christian isn't, just because like from just recovery perspective.
Gotcha.
From the fight. That's what I was talking to. So I'm like, technically he told me beforehand. I knew that was the plan, because then in December, in like 2 weeks actually, December 7th, we have fights at Cherokee Casino.
It's really right down the street from us. So
so it's like 40 minutes, maybe. No, even less from here, right?
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes. Although we'll have all the kids that day, so
that'll be an interesting
see
map and plan.
See how it goes.
But being able to do that local, and again, IKF is going to be another promotion. There's also going to be some world rankings on the table for Deuce, especially. I believe so. That's going to be exciting. And just like going back to Deuce, seeing him. So there's a couple things, and to also right afterwards, they did performance bonus. When I say bonuses, awards afterwards. I shouldn't say bonuses, but being able to see Deuce win his 6th title at that point. He's won 2 world titles this year. His 6th title overall. I've literally I love telling this story, because Deuce, I don't think I've ever told you this story. I've literally seen him from day 1 training, but the day he actually started sparring, because we don't just let everyone spar. That's one thing I'm really big on, that I appreciate Johnny's big on too, is in some gyms you can go in day 1 and spar. Yeah. And I'm in jiu-jitsu, that's one thing too. It's kind of different. Yeah, because in jiu-jitsu, when I trained in American Top Team, day 1. Yeah, that's cool. But it's an option. I mean, you don't have to. Yeah, but that's cool. And I think that's fine, because you're not getting any concussive components. Right. When it comes to having head trauma, that to me is a way bigger deal. Instantly you can drastically impact somebody. Yeah, for sure. Being protective of that, we're conservative. So we were hey, you have to basically be invited. And at that time we did a conditioning test. We did a whole process. Kind of observe you for a while. Yeah. And Deuce was already training every single day, staying after. And we would have the sparring class after the regular class. So Deuce would always stay, hit the bag. And then one day he stayed, hit the bag, and we had an odd amount of people, and I wasn't going to spar. I wanted to make sure I could watch the rounds. I'm like, hey, Deuce, you down to jump in? And then from that moment, him jumping in, just because he showed up, all you have to do, I mean, Not all you have to do, but a
A
pretty
big
substantial component.
huge key component. Yeah.
Because you also never know who's watching. It's something I learned I got from someone else is you never know who's watching. You never know what's going to come from just keep showing up in those opportunities. Again, if
honestly, you could say that in all of life, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but for sure in the fighting
100%. And that's what I love about martial arts and fighting is because to me, there's so many parallels to draw from how you succeed there to how you're going to succeed in any aspect of life.
Not only that, but like there's a lot of parallels between how you approach it mentally, like what your mindset's like going into these because even pretend, quote unquote, or training fighting, like not a real fight, but like pretending training is psychologically, it's not that much different to your brain, especially in the beginning when you first start. Like your all those hormones are still there, and how you show up and how you handle that will really like determine
what work a number.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really interesting to see newbies, especially like to your point, it's really special when you get one that you're like, oh, this one like really has the potential, but they also have the mindset and the emotionality and the community aspect and like all of these things, and they're showing up all the time. Then it's like, it's just a recipe for success. Good cocktail.
Yeah, and that's like one of the things that I appreciate about seeing people evolve in their lives, but especially in the martial arts and the fighter stage, it's because of so many interesting things come up. Especially with like, also shout out to Phil Kratz, who's in Thailand right now. And the reason I bring that up is like Phil and Boo Boo and Deuce would come over. And we'd have like Stover would come over. We'd have these different guys come over, right? We'd do mindset work. So Sundays, when we're not physically training, we're training our minds or being able to, how do we grow? Right. And it was like a really important thing that I always appreciate they'd show up for. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Are they
like,
still doing that there?
No, not at like, not at the gym or anything like that, but we did that. And the things we went through or worked on in those mindset things, they still do. Yeah. From what I've seen with the fighters, like I know Justin does it. I know Deuce does it. I know Boo Boo does it with his competition in different ways. I haven't seen him like write stuff out, but like we talk about ahead of time, setting intentions, like doing flying triangles and getting paid cash. I see. Yeah. From my
perspective, the mental game is way more important than the physical game. Because if you can get a hold of the mental game, the physical is just going to like easily follow, but it doesn't always work the other way around. Some people think it does. They'll get really good at the physical and like not so good at the mental, but then all it takes is like one loss or one injury. Right. Exactly. And you're not going to be in it for the long haul. That's for sure. The mental game is the key.
And this is like one of the tricky things I talked to a coach about who's in Thailand right now as well at Tiger Muay Thai is the idea of like, are you trying to win every single round in sparring too? Right, like, are you pridefully pursuing it? Right. Or is it like fear driven? Like what we always talk about. Like what you always say, like what's fear your motivation? Love, right? Is it love of evolution in the sport, martial arts, whatever those things
yourself, are? Even your own evolution. Love of
or is it fear of like, I'm a failure. I need this to be.
I can't lose.
This is my identity.
Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it is. I need to prove myself to someone who told me when I was a child that I wasn't good enough or whatever it is.
Exactly. And even, GSP was like talking about that recently too. And that notion of like, how many guys have left their careers in the gym and just weren't able to grow properly. So being able to have that part of the mindset too. Dude, even this week, like being able to just do nasal breathing during jiu-jitsu rounds, like during live rounds, like I only did nasal breathing. Nice. And I actually had to like, there were some times where I could have scrambled harder. I would have had to like take a deep breath. Right. I was like, all right, I actually had to like give a position.
Interesting.
I had to, and that was like an ego thing, which is like great opportunity. Like, all right, cool. Like now I'm going to work my guard here. This is a different opportunity.
Yeah. So I used to like every once in a while, like just because I'm crazy like this, when I would roll in jiu-jitsu, sometimes it was like, okay, it would depend on who I was rolling with, but like there were times where I was like, okay, my objective is to just stay as present as possible. It doesn't really matter if I win or lose. I want to maintain presence 100% of the time, which is kind of like
it's
like extrapolating meditation basically onto, but it was really challenging for me because one of the things I always found difficult in jiu-jitsu was surmounting my own fear mechanism, like as both a female and someone who's experienced like sexual trauma and different things. It was very difficult to override my physiological programming and conditioning from these past things. Right. So it was a really ripe opportunity for that reason for me to be like, okay, if I can remain completely present and not really be focused on winning or losing or submitting or whatever. And what I ended up finding was that those times I was present, whether I won or lost didn't matter because at the end of it, I felt so more fulfilled. Yeah, I felt so much more fulfilled and so more like I got so much from those. But it was, I want to say like maybe
again.
10% max of the time that I was rolling, I was able to do this. A lot of the times I would go in with the intention and fear would still get the better of me or my physiological situation, or I would get fixated on like getting a position and getting the better of someone or trying not to lose or whatever. So like these ego games are forever, playing and rolling along. It takes years and years and years of showing up all the time and every day and practicing. So to gain any level of mastery over your conditioning and programming,
like
your mental constructs.
Because think of like we talk about that too. Like if you've been running the same, like say even just think as neural pathways, programming, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
you've been running the same path over and over and over.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How strongly graved or like grooved is that path?
Yeah,
so
unfortunately, those are mostly unconscious too. So it's like, okay, I've unconsciously been running this programming for 25, 30 years. And then once you become aware of it, it's like, all right, is it going to be another 25 or 30 years before I can like kind of build a new tributary and have the water flowing in a different way in my mind? But yeah.
Which is thankfully, I find from my experience, it doesn't necessarily work in that same ratio.
No.
It's not a 1-to-1.
No, because consciousness is super powerful.
Yeah.
The unconscious
like
building, but intention and consciousness, like once you have the understanding and the awareness, it's doable in a short period of time, especially if you are an active meditator or do like mindfulness practice.
Working on it. 5 minutes every day.
5 minutes every day. So proud of you.
Me too. I'm like genuinely like proud of myself. I forgot what day I started. I have it in my notes.
It's been, I want to say it's been like close to a month or at least a few weeks, like three or 4 weeks that he's been.
Yeah, but I don't always do it in the morning. Like some days it's like gotten away from me where it's till like afternoon and I feel it. That's like a big thing. Yeah. It's like doing it in the first hour of waking.
Yeah, it definitely has its benefit. But you know what? To that point, like if you're like, oh, I want to hit it every day, and you're like in the afternoon, like, oh, I haven't done it yet. At least you're showing up.
Yeah, that's like the baseline of like, hey, I this is what I'm committed to.
Yeah. Smelling good. Which one is that?
Yeah, this one's the like milk and coconut.
Okay, yeah. No, the orange one.
Yeah. Got that milk and coconut, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, Himalayan pink salt with milk, coconut, extra moisture.
And the second ingredient in all these is shea butter, which I usually use pure shea butter through the winter for like all of my skin.
Yeah,
that's all I use.
Water and shea butter, baby.
I know. So I was like, all right, I like it.
Good job, y'all.
Yeah, it has like I don't know if none of you have ever used shea butter before. It's like more pasty. Like lotion almost feels more like water. Like regular traditional lotion always feels more watery. Yeah, whereas the shea butter is quite like pasty and thick. But I like it because I feel like it lasts a lot longer. Like the lotion. I remember when I was a kid, my mom always had these like little hand lotions. You put it on like literally 5 or 10 minutes later, my hands are dry again. So I'm like, what's the point of this? Whereas a shea butter, you put it on and like a couple hours later, after you wash your hands, you're like, yeah, I still feel that paste on there. So it's holding the moisture in really well. Yeah. So
yeah, y'all, I'm curious, do you have also any requests for those on Amazon? If you have a request on the products, because like what we wanted to do is try out like a little bit more free-flowing conversation than dropping in products as we go throughout it. So I'm curious, is there anything like we kind of hit pretty much everything in the box we've hit, so we have that in the carousel, but we'll just circle back. Like this is, I'm just telling you, probably my most excited like thing that I've got that's like non-fitness or nutrition based. So I'm just gonna highlight it in the carousel.
He's just killing bugs with this thing.
I'm ready. I haven't even like started yet,
unleashing the murderous intent.
Unleash the fury
in a controlled environment, and like I don't know where it makes sense, I guess. Oh, yes. Although now that wintertime's coming, your days are numbered with this guy because the bugs are going to be.
At some point, I'm just going to touch it with my hand and just see what happens.
Yeah.
But so again, even just to like genuinely highlight it, you got like your percentage on the battery, and then you also have like a less intense, so you're not having the light on, which is I guess more efficient as well. You can see, and voila. I've yet to figure out what this does though. Yeah, I don't know. I like how their symbol is the Umbrella Academy. Yeah. So like we got you. And we were just watching that,
Umbrella
right?
Academy, yeah.
You got that Umbrella Academy logo for those of you that hold on. For those of you that know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
But yeah, I'm genuinely excited about that one just for funsies, and then they got their other like option here.
Yeah, the one that you can hang this up on the wall. It's got like things for hanging. Right? Or you can just set it on the floor, let it chill, or
the handle.
Yeah, or the table.
So like how much do you think you're genuinely brushing bugs out of this thing?
I mean, if it were me, honestly, like yeah, I'd be brushing. I like clean out, like for those of you that have like, window unit ACs, I've had those many years. Like I clean out the filters regularly. I'm one of those people.
I don't think about that stuff. That's why I'm so
It runs more efficiently if you do.
Which is
so
good on you.
Yeah. If it gets all jammed up, if anything, if there's like bugs in there, there's no more bugs. Eventually it's going to run out of bugs to kill if they're just like piles of bugs stuck in there.
Also, I have a question. I'm going to ask you guys this too. Should we do a giveaway with some of this makeup stuff since like you're not going to use it?
Yeah,
right?
we totally should.
I'm thinking about doing a giveaway.
Because I'm such a freaking, what's it called?
Like just like not wearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Aunt? Kill those bugs.
I don't know what I would call it, but like a picky or like bougie or
very specific.
Whatever. I can't think of the
adjective. What did I say when we were in Mexico? I feel like we were in Mexico or something. I was like, oh, you got your bougie water or like your
something like that. I'm just really picky about what I put on my skin. My rule is I wouldn't put something on my skin that I wouldn't eat. So I basically just don't wear makeup or anything on my face or my skin. But I put like coconut oil, or shea butter. Yeah, like I'll put things that I would eat. But outside of that, just a little no, I don't.
Random little product plugs. I'm trying to now I'm also playing with you guys. I'm curious. I want some feedback too, and I want your perspective. I like to subtly put products in the background where it makes sense. And that's not my forte, but it's kind of like a fun game. And I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah,
we got hearts. All right, so maybe you guys like that.
All right, so we can totally give this away. We got what else?
Oh yeah, giveaway. So we got this one.
This one's like whitening and lightening dark spots. Actually, I wonder if my sister might want
anti-wrinkle eye gel. So if you guys want any of this, let us know, and we'll actually do a giveaway. And I'll do it for next Friday as a happy Thanksgiving. Because we're going to do live, again, another live stream next Friday for obviously Black Friday. We'll go through Cyber Monday, have all types of fun stuff. As you're doing that. Oh, nice. So, yeah, we can do different types of giveaway options, or we can do a whole package and give it away to everyone.
We have a night cream. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here for the facial stuff.
I already took it out.
Yeah, restoring night cream. So yeah, we can give away all these guys individually or as a package. Yeah.
A baby face cream even, or we can some bonus lotion cream. Some of these I actually like all this.
Yeah, I want to keep those. We don't have to keep all of them, but I want to keep some.
I'll hook you guys up.
Yeah.
Something popped in here. I don't know what it is, but I know something.
Oh, yeah,
what else we got?
Brightening.
Oh yeah, the amino acid facial cleanser. What's up?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Should we give this away?
Totally
just
should.
Right there. I'm just gonna put it right in the middle.
Yeah, block both of our faces. Just check this guy out.
But yeah, that's where sometimes it's helpful to have again when I would have a kind of desk set up behind me and the lighting, you can just slowly build it and place it.
We're working on it.
We're
working on it.
Well, you get little floaters though, even having here and then your office actually is really good because there's little nice desks. So.
Yeah, right behind.
We got to dial it in, don't worry. But yeah,
there's 4 or 5 products that we'll be giving away that are all facial creams, lotions, cleansers.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we got our restoring night cream too.
Yeah.
What's up?
And they all smell really nice. We've smell tested everything. I think the baby one. That's what you put on your face. That's right.
Yeah, that was all good.
Yeah, but so unused, unopened.
Except to unbox just for straight up content reasons, but not using it for anything else.
So for those of you who your mom has a birthday or your wife or your girlfriend, or you want to get them something for Christmas, or you want it for yourself, your self-care routine, feel free. Come on down.
Or if no one really cares and wants it, then that's cool too. I won't do a giveaway and I'll spare myself. Because here's the funny fact about me. I don't like going to the post office. I guess no one does. That's
oh my gosh, funny. I really don't mind. I do it all the time.
I'm horrible. There's been points where I've had to give something back to people that I decided to stop talking to that for whatever reason, and I'm I don't want to. Yeah, I would actually rather not have to see this person, but going to the post office or mailing it to me is such a hassle. I will literally drive to your house and drop it off in your mailbox.
Okay.
I don't want to have to just do it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I don't mind the post office. I don't really know why, but it doesn't bother me.
So yeah, there is our giveaway, skincare, beauty, self-care set. We'll be doing that next week for the live stream that I'll have scheduled up. We're going to be doing it on Friday after Thanksgiving because, Gonna have the Black Friday. It was actually from now until Friday. They had a bunch of great deals, but anticipate from Friday to Monday. I would imagine they'll do Cyber Monday, all that good stuff. I'll be doing some more giveaways. I'll be scheduling some more stuff. And yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm trying to think. Oh, this is something I do want to like just share. Oh, what's up? Outlets. So the electrical side. So I think of like home. I think of lifestyle. I think of like, again, skincare. I think of, sure, salts, all that stuff. But here's an interesting piece I will say. When it comes to devices, I've yet to see a outlet that also has a wireless or like a plugless charger. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'll grab my phone real quick. So unfortunately, y'all here on Instagram, you're going to have to just like hang in there with me. Let's see if I can flip the camera around and if this helps with the perspective. So boom, check it. We just pop right on. If I can get this out of the way. And then it would charge if I have it plugged in. So you can just pop it right on and voila. So I'm actually highlight it in the carousel. These are just things I think, oh, what's up, John? Oh, we want it, right? Can't be anywhere worse than a taser. Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm totally going to touch it. And this one, I kind of also want to talk about. This is where I'm going to make the reveal. Let's talk about the hammer / kettlebell tool, which is not really kettlebell. It's not a fair way, but that's just kind of how they categorize it. Yeah. We're going to bust out. I call it Thor's hammer. So
this thing was so hard to get in the house. Like one day, box got delivered to the front door, and I like didn't know what it was. And Anna, my little 2-year-old, was like, she gets excited about boxes. She tried moving it. She's like, "Mom, I need help." And I went out to go grab it, and I was like, "This is legit, like a little heavy for me." But it's just the shape of it. It's so crazy.
It's just awkward.
Yeah, because all the weight's at one end.
Now check it out. The cool thing about this is it's 15 pounds, so it's not super heavy. So you get to be I got to be very creative with this particular one.
I think I heard something.
We can use it for, like you would substitute a kettlebell for kettlebell swings. You have a lot of options there. What I really like in Stover, this is what I was thinking about for you, one of my fighters, is shoulder work and being able to work core, then being able to work some forearms and some arms because of the asymmetrical weight on the handle, being able to do just like what we call radial and ulnar deviations, rotating your wrist one side to the other, or being able to then go into like a different type of radial and ulnar deviation where you're just kind of flexing it side to side or going to flexion extension.
I don't think you can see this on any of these cameras.
Well, TikTok,
because you're so
you guys are out of luck. Instagram, I know you could see it.
No,
but key on
it was out of view.
You got to come on Amazon. But thanks for just like that.
Yeah.
Just peace for you guys. But this thing is so cool. And they legit weight though. This thing will go up to, I want to say it's like 75 pounds, which then that gets really fun. So I'm going to click on it. I'm sorry. It's 70 pounds.
Okay.
So being able to go up to 70 pounds is like a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually really excited about.
This one's only like what, 15 or something?
Yeah, this one's just 15 pounds.
Dude, but just the weight.
So
the way that it's in the weight, it was.
So this is like another fun thing. So like being able to just come up and doing a halo variation where we bring it around our head, swing it, and then come right back upright, stabilized. Not only great for the shoulder, the capsule, your forearms, your arms, stability. It's really cool and exciting. Now, again, would I like get this over resistance bands or like a adjustable dumbbell set? Probably not. This wouldn't be my number one fitness pick but it's a super versatile piece of equipment. It's pretty legit. It's pretty simple to travel with. It does have a lot of cool things, but it wouldn't be my number one. It would be like top 10, but definitely not top 5, because I would still go like dumbbells, resistance bands, a solid bench, a good squat rack, a barbell, which is the other product we're going to get into too. Those would be the things I'd really jump rope even. But this does hit a lot of those boxes. You could technically substitute a lot of that stuff. You could do cardio with this. You could do intervals. You could do strength training. You just have to have the right weight because this isn't adjustable. It's like one fixed weight. It's somewhat limiting. But let's tag in the second product before we kind of transition. Then I'm going to do more of the like fitness fashion side, which is basically me just like going over different Kufandy stuff. Ooh, if you're training to be Thor. Yeah, exactly. Right? Delbert knows. So the other piece that most of you probably going to be more familiar with is our Olympic barbell. So Carrie was like, why are you working out in the living room? Like, what are you doing? Like,
it's like a giant barbell just in the center of the living room.
So you guys, we're going to all go for a ride.
I wasn't sure.
I'm going to try and not drop any of this. Misha, I'm going to squish your head. Yep. Excuse me, Misha. Misha would be the dog.
She's trying to sleep.
So what we're going to do, I'm going to reposition us. Whoop. There we go. And I wanted you guys, again, so you can kind of see just from a perspective, and I'll demonstrate some of the exercises really quickly from a kind of forearm perspective, different angle. You can kind of, again, radial ulnar deviations. You can go forwards, you can go backwards. And again, you can do really cool curl options as well. So when you're curling, you can turn into a hammer curl, but being able to either keep it upright or extend it, add some more forearm stability. And then you got good old, and I don't want to hit you with this, so I'm going to try and do this like as calculated as I can. But I'm going to even stand it upright. So it's a pretty standard barbell. Did I just hear something? Did you guys hear that? Are the kids waking up? Did I just wake everyone up?
Probably. No, it doesn't seem that anyone's astir.
But I do like the color and just being able to get into the purpose of it. So this would be like one of the things, again, when I talk about my top 5, a barbell is pretty close up there because you can put so much load or take so much load off and do a lot of really core-based compound. So when I say core-based, what I mean by that is like if you're building a pyramid, the core, the base, the foundation of it would really come from a lot of barbell work. And it doesn't have to. I actually argue in the beginning to do more asymmetrical or dumbbell or single side. So that because the thing with a barbell is if I'm right side dominant or left side dominant, I can compensate by pulling more with that one side. But if the weight is independent of one another, they're not connected through the bar itself, the compensations aren't going to be as easy to hide. It's going to come out a little bit more. You're going to be able to address a little bit more. But overall strength, max load, the barbell is kind of the move.
I gotta say, this one is quite pretty. I like
yeah, and just
purple.
the color, right? Like that's what I thought, and that's why I kind of picked it. Oh, geez. I went with purple for like royalty.
It's just nice looking.
And the knurling, like if you guys like are really into barbells, you can geek out about knurling. Like I would like a little bit more aggressive knurling, a little bit more grip, less and less.
Yeah.
But that's if you get that person, like you really probably don't have to ask these questions. You're probably more in tune to that stuff. Again, they have the double space for you to figure out where you want to put your fingers as a reference point. Here's a pro tip I'm going to give you guys. When you're trying to line yourself up for a bar, I call it the natural lie. So where my arms naturally rest is where I like to grip, which is pretty much where I'm grabbing right now. So I'm naturally resting my arms at my side. That's why I grabbed it here. If we were to do a more traditional, let me kind of walk, if I were walking up to the bar, show you guys what I mean. So I'd be relaxing my arms. Where they are naturally is where I grab on the bar. So as I hinge forward, I lift. Imagine that with like clean technique. That's the spacing. Some people are very particular though. They want to use these rings as a reference point so you can consistently, every single rep, ooh, that was so loud. Every single rep know exactly where you're placing your hands and positioning it, especially when you're doing it for competition. So that's like just something to keep in mind, but not necessary. I think the natural lie is the easiest way to line it up. Same thing for push-ups. I use the same technique. Hopefully that's helpful. And that's like really all the stuff I wanted to hit. I'm sure Carrie has it looking in there.
We have one little baby stirring, but
oh, I don't know. I was too heavy with the weight.
It's okay.
So this might be our cue, might not be.
She might figure it out.
We'll see. But I'm curious if that brings up questions for you guys too. And I'm going to hop back into Amazon C because I'm sure you might have some questions popping up with that. Yeah, exactly. Or we're just doing Thor training, right? Which is fun. Don't get me wrong. And I'm really excited about being able to play with more because I'm going to do more content for you guys around this and just experiment with different workouts. I'm so loud.
Maybe don't be so loud.
I'm so loud.
We want you guys to be able to hear us, but.
So we're pretty much at like the hour mark anyway. So we'll give it a little bit more time. If you guys have questions, so I'm going to be a little bit more chill. I might even start eating food to forcibly make myself shut up and be quiet. And if you guys have questions, I'll totally address them. But otherwise, I'm going to talk slow and low. And I don't think I'm going to do the second stream for Kufandi. So if you guys want to see that fitness fashion show, I'm going to put that one to next week on Friday with our Cyber Monday or Black Friday to Cyber Monday live streams. So we'll be doing our WBM one, just like this, doing a giveaway for that, if you guys still want it. And then we'll do the Kufandi one after that. And then you have some like jammies.
I have a whole bunch of stuff from EcoBear.
Good stuff to share.
Which we'll put Anna to bed. We don't have the girls, so we'll just put Anna to bed at like 7, and we'll get on here earlier.
Pow.
Yeah, so like 7:30 to 8:30 maybe might be the
sweet spot. We're always trying to find that sweet spot again for my parents out there. You guys know what's up. Yeah. Not just as content creation, but just like living life in general. It's such like an interesting. Yeah. It's kind of something funny I joke about. It's like almost like nice to be divorced in the sense of just to have like built-in like childcare that you trust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's definitely one of the benefits. Yeah. Not that everyone has that.
Right.
Some people are divorced and they don't necessarily trust their partner, but both of us luckily have partners that we trust with the safety and well-being of our children.
Yeah, like we can go have like a weekend and like, okay,
yeah,
things are gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So,
kids will be fed, put to bed, taken care of, loved.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all the things I wanted to hit, even from the movement side, from the supplement side, from our product side. And again, just thank you guys. Like, I was really excited to see like just how the whole week went. You know, we did actually fill, so I'll just like make this announcement now. So we filled all the spots we were filling for our insurance to kind of like trial. So we don't have any more open spots. If you guys are interested though in working with us with insurance, we're not taking on anyone new, but we're building our waiting list now. So once we actually figure out all the details we wanted to use the trial clients on, we'll be able to run that out and test that with you guys. So you can just reach out. In the meantime, we can get you set up on the app and all those things. And then also someone was asking me, working with you too, they wanted to know like for remote purposes. Yeah, like I was talking to one person, I won't say their name, but I'll tell you afterwards. Doing like mindfulness or like yoga, or what would be your preference of working with someone on a remote basis versus in person? Because a lot of stuff you've done has been like in person, I feel like over the last maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
in the yoga context.
I could totally do remote. It's very doable, like with a Zoom or a Skype situation. Depends on specifically what they want to get into, like some more energetic practices that would need to be in person. But if it's just like mindfulness, meditation, and coaching in that regard, remote is perfectly fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Just like with regularity, obviously. Like you want to, in the beginning, you just want to meet with regularity. Like the same point as like you're hiring someone or you're getting a client with coaching, you're going to want to meet with them at least once, twice, 3 times a week, ideally.
Bingo.
So yeah, something like that. But remote is doable. We have the technology.
We can do it. So there you go, y'all. If you want that, also feel free to reach out wherever you're watching this. You're going to have a way to access us, whether DMs, comments, the links in our profile. You'll be able to get a hold of us that way. And yeah.
Wait, really I don't think I'm in your profiles.
No, but I mean, just like emailing, I can. They'll be like, oh, I want to work with Carrie. Then I would just like forward it to you.
Yeah.
Or do you have a preferred way to do that? We can obviously add you to our link tree and all of that.
Yeah.
And we'll brainstorm on the back end if you guys have any insight.
Try to make it easier for you guys.
That's always my goal. Like, hey, let's just make it as easy as possible. You can email us. You can go in through our calendar. Simple.
Yeah.
Just hit it that way. And then we can support you guys, whatever that looks like. And we'll see you next week too. But in the meantime, have a happy Thanksgiving for those of you that we won't see, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy. Stay safe. Hopefully it snowed by you. You got some nice snow. Yeah. Enjoyed a snow day. And you get to do the cheers.
Cheers.
What do you got to drink?
Yeah, water. I'm actually thirsty now.
Cheers, y'all. Bam.
Hydrate before bed.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, exactly. Get that hydration on, but don't pee the bed. It's a balance. That's always the balance.
Don't pee the bed.
Don't you do it.
Oh, man.
And then the good old Amazon.